Welcome to another Good Dads podcast. I am Jay Fotsch for Good Dads, Great Communities.
Yay.
And for Dr. Baker, you are sitting in today.
Yes, I'm Diana Dudenhoeffer. I'm the Director of Communications.
Yes.
I'm in for Dr. Baker today, and we have two very exciting guests on the podcast.
Yes, it's Engaged Fathers, Empowered Kids, a success story with strong schools. We have Joshua Rowlett and Ben Buschjost, right?
Nailed it.
All right.
Yay.
Yes. So we will start with you, Joshua. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am an educator inside of Springfield Public Schools. I've done a variety of different jobs over my near 20-year career. Currently, I am a librarian. This year, I'll be at Hickory Hills Elementary as well as Holland Elementary, but I've also been at a few other schools in the district in previous years of service.
You have a very calm demeanor about you. You would probably be very good librarian. Like I feel like I'm talking too loud right now. As soon as
You're gonna get shushed.
You are.
I'm talking way too loud. I'm not using librarian voice at all.
No, but luckily for you, the library's definitely changed since I was in school, since you were in school. And so the things that we do in my library, talking is absolutely welcome, because more than likely the talk is communicating some type of critical thinking. And so, of course, you can't get as loud as you want to, but
Sure.
Within reason, libraries are very different spaces now. And so
They don't have card catalogs anymore.
no card catalogs, everything's online.
This is my favorite.
Time to put you in the retirement home, Jay.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't visit a lot of libraries in my time.
No, it wasn't your favorite place.
No, it was. As a matter of fact, Missouri State, I think I was there for 4.5 years. I was there 2 times.
Oh, wow.
And one of them was meeting a date. And obviously didn't work out. So, but thank
Wow.
you so much, Joshua. We appreciate it. And Ben, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I work for a manufacturing company out in Stratford, Insight Solutions. We manufacture stainless steel food processing equipment. My team and I kind of handle all the purchasing and procurement for that organization. And I have 2 girls. They're 12 as my oldest, and my youngest is 8, almost 9. And she's the one that goes to Willard Central Elementary and kind of is the reason that I got involved in Good Dads. And coming up on my 3rd year of being a captain there. I got a good group of guys who kind of help me co-captain and, just kind of help keep the wheels on the bus, if you will.
I like the analogy.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Okay, so I'll just lead right into that. What, you said you've been involved 3 years. The biggest question that I have, how hard was it? Because when we talk about like dads starting some of these groups at schools, it seems like you need to have like an Outlook background, PowerPoint presentation, or like overly organized skills, and come in with this whole briefcase of goodies. Tell us a little bit about your experience of starting that, like your first time 3 years ago.
I was petrified because I had to have the microphone and stand in front of all these dads.
So that was probably the hardest part.
It was. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Good Dads Strong Schools program makes it really easy. I mean, you get like a binder with all your lessons and the supplies that you need and like the talking points for the activities. So I didn't really have to come up with anything on my own. It was really more like, okay, how do I try to follow this script that they give me, but not make it sound like I'm reading off of like a piece of paper, maintaining eye contact, getting the kids involved, which, I mean, if you ask the kids if they want to speak into a microphone, you could be there for hours. And then just making sure we had, we had the supplies, finding people to help sponsor the breakfast. So we try to find local businesses in the community. You try to find in Willard, but Springfield, Stratford. I mean, I'll ask anybody if they would be willing to sponsor a breakfast, so that, we can pick up the cost of the food. And it was honestly really easy for me. I mean, like I said, the hardest part was just standing in front of a room of people. Some of them I know, some of them I don't, and trying to like just keep everybody engaged. And after the first couple of times, we kind of figured it out and fell into a rhythm. Survived that first year, and then I felt like last year's breakfast went
It's like an old hat.
Smoother. Yeah,
You're
like,
a veteran now.
Yeah, and just make sure we get there in time to make copies, and everybody has the stuff that they need, and just keep it keep it moving and facilitating along.
So, Joshua, this just sounds like it's right up your alley at the librarian, since you were talking about there's a lot of interaction, and you're talking about the lesson plan is more of like having a microphone and interaction. Really, it's not even necessarily about. It's not. I think what we're trying to say is it's not as hard as people think it is.
Exactly.
It really isn't. It doesn't have to be a very difficult thing to set up. It can be as easy as you want it to be. You're right. I'm used to standing up in front of people. Usually they're smaller people, and talking in front of crowds, but that wasn't of any particular difficulty for me. I found something surprising, and that is that the dads in the communities that I've served are really waiting to be asked to do something, being asked to be involved
Or invited.
Right.
Almost. Yeah.
And so, having worked in some poverty schools inside of Springfield Public, many of the adults that I've interacted with, they didn't have positive experiences in school. And so there is still some hesitancy, but when you ask them to be involved and it has little to do with the academic side of school, they're very willing. And not only are they willing, but then they begin to volunteer, I have found, with regards to things in the academic realm. They begin to read books in the classroom, or they begin to take pictures for kids during Dr. Seuss Week or something of the sort. And so I think the administrative side of Good Dads is made easy by Good Dads. And when you begin to ask people to get involved, oftentimes you'll be surprised, I think, that there are more than enough willing volunteers.
I love that. I like that you make it clear at your school that we're not going to make you do multiplication tables. You know, we're not bringing you into the school for a negative reason, you know. And those who have listened to the last episode of Great Communities will know that we had our Strong Schools coordinator on the show last month. And he said a lot of times, stereotypically, dad is brought into the school building for a negative reason. Maybe there's like a disciplinary thing. And that's a real shame. You know, dads need to be in schools for good reasons too. And that's what I'm hearing from you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. Well, okay, I have a question for the both of you. I've always heard that the school is kind of like the heart of the community. And this podcast is Good Dads, Great Communities, talking about all the ways that dads make a community great. So maybe could each of you speak a little bit about why helping a school is going to have ripple effects to all of society? Why is it that we talk about schools like it's a heartbeat?
Yeah, I would say for me, Good Dads provided a catalyst to get involved. And my wife is on the parent teacher organization, and you know, she volunteers and helps out with all the different, you know, events that they do at our kids' schools. And I didn't necessarily have that outlet, I guess. So when this became, you know, an opportunity, I kind of jumped on it. I was like, yeah, I would love to help out. And I mean, let's face it, our kids are at school a huge chunk of the day. And it's, you know, they're there 9-10 hours sometimes. Schools play a really, really big role in kind of helping to define and shape who your kids are going to be as they kind of go through those early formative years. So for me, just to be involved and get to do something fun with my daughter that she looks forward to every month, and she like tries to help me plan. Like she's always, you know, she's a helper. So when we get there, she's making copies. And she's chasing down the custodian to like,
I love it,
find chairs and a table so we can set up our welcome table. Great. And she walked into the administrative assistant's office one day and like grabbed all her purple pens, and then the
I need these.
She's like, "Can I get you different pens? Because I really like these purple pens." It's like, I'm so sorry. Yes, please take all these back. You know, she loves it, and it's something we get to do and experience together. And I just, you know, I love that this not only gives me an opportunity to interact with her, but I get to interact with the kids that she goes to school with. I get to interact with the principal and the teachers, and And the staff, you know, like the food service staff who are like the heart and soul of the school, like I get to see how much they love the kids, and, you know, all the teachers who come in to help. It's nice to have that outlet for me. Cause I didn't have it before, and not that it wasn't available, but I just, you know, my wife did it, and I helped out where I could, but this is, you know, has given me the opportunity to have kind of my own thing with my kid and with that community.
Well, and I think also like how much it works. It's just like a big circle, because they appreciate that too. They appreciate parents, like the teachers, and being involved in what they're doing and helping communicate a little bit better. So I think it's kind of full circle with that.
Yeah,
as far
absolutely.
as the staff as well. And
You're making a positive cycle in your school, and that's fantastic. So Joshua, what about you? Do you see your school as kind of the heart of your community?
For sure. I think especially on the elementary level, you know, when you think about the bigger schools in Springfield, the high schools or some of the middle schools, it's easy to see them perhaps as apart from the community. But as far as elementaries are concerned, those schools populate all of the city. And in many cases, they are the heart of the community, to the point that even in some of the areas of Springfield that might have a higher rate of homelessness or of crime, around those schools, that's not the case, because the people living close to the school want to take care of the school, because the school provides a service to the most vulnerable people in that community. And so when you welcome dads into that community, and it's a positive experience instead of a disciplinary experience or a negative academic experiences you were mentioning earlier, well, that's just even better, because now those dads are included and those dads are involved in that community because, well, they are. And now they have a functional role. They have a part to play. And it's a really cool thing to see dads begin to show the significance of this monthly event or quarterly event, to the point that I've had men tell me that they've scheduled out all of the Good Dads events in the months ahead and letting their employer know, I'll have to be gone.
They want to be there.
They want to be there.
Yeah.
And I even had one father tell me one time that his employer asked him if he could provide him with the dates of Good Dad events in the future. Why?
Wow.
Because he knew, the employer, that is, that this had become such a significant part of this father's life that the employer wanted to help him with that. And so that's not just impacting the community that surrounds the school, but it's impacting all of Springfield itself.
Yeah, that's so powerful. I love that.
This Good Dads podcast is brought to you in part by our generous supporters. This week, we'd like to thank the following: Harry Cooper Joplin Supply, Mr. and Mrs. Bob and Susan Biney, Midwest Auto Source, Mr. and Mrs. Randy and Cindy McGinnis, Mr. and Mrs. Larry and Donna Schneider. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Visit our website at gooddads.com to learn how to contribute to the Good Dads mission. So let me ask you, I always love getting like the kids' perspective. How, like, just your kids in particular, like how exciting is it for you to be at their school? I think I know I try to bring this up on as many podcasts as possible. I think we forget sometimes, like when I was in second grade or third grade, when I got to show my classroom off to my parents.
Yeah.
Like when they would come in, like how exciting
It was
that is
so
as a
cool.
kid.
It was so cool to do that.
Like just to be at school, like you're not, you know what I mean? You're not there. Once again, no disciplinary
Right.
reasons. You're
Right.
there to hang out and see their school. There's like a pride level in that for kids. Like, do you guys see that like for your kids specifically?
I do. I mean, it's hard dragging my daughter out of bed in the morning. My youngest just, you know, most of the time doesn't want to get up, but on Good Dad's Day, she's waking me up. Like she is ready to go. She is proactive in getting her teeth brushed and getting dressed. I mean, she is ready to get out that door and get to school and start setting up. Like
You do it every day then.
Yeah, I know,
Good
right?
dads
Like
every
it's
day.
Good Dads every morning.
I'm like, what an awesome turn of events this is. Like, I don't feel like I'm having to, like, you know, keep on her to get the next thing done. She's just, ready to go and love. Like I said, she just loves to help. It's her thing. And I love that I get to do that with her.
That's awesome.
My girls don't go to any of the schools at which I have assisted in the Good Dads program, but I can tell you that it is a source of pride for the students. And it is also a source of pride for the fathers. I mean, it is an excellent program on its own. But when you then begin to introduce that social or emotional learning for both the student and the father, it's an incredible thing that they are incredibly proud of. And I knew that this was the case the very first meeting that we had with Good Dads at Weller Elementary. Now, I'm not at Weller Elementary anymore. I've been moved schools a couple different times by Springfield Public's administration for a variety of different reasons. But I remember the coach coming up to me afterwards and saying, "This is the best thing that this school has ever done."
Wow.
And he had been there for years before me. And he had worked not only with the current principal at the time, but the previous principal and perhaps even the principal before that.
So he'd been there for a while and he still said, this
Absolutely.
is the best. Wow.
And so when the coach says that, and I know his tenure in the building, there's some power behind those words. There's some meaning behind those words. And I had to agree with him. And the thing that I think is important to remember is that that's not me. That's not you as an administrator of the program, but that is you as a father. That is all of the men that are showing up for their kids because it is that important to them. It's that much of a source of pride.
Well, let me ask you then, you said showing up for your kids is just that important. What does showing up for your kids really, what does that mean? I feel like a lot of dads feel a good deal of pressure, but one of the things we wanted to achieve when we were developing Good Dads Strong Schools is to show dads it doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be grandiose or expensive. It can just be 20 or 30 minutes before school, one morning a month, where you enjoy breakfast together and you play an activity together. Can you talk about showing up and how it can be simple? It doesn't have to be big.
Mm-hmm. I mean, really, it is being present in the present moment. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. We have had moments with different activities that aren't even based on the lesson, but just fun activities for a father and their child where you can see the connection happening. And there's a good chance that this is the only time that that's going to happen this week.
Yeah.
Right? And that's happening inside of a school, and that we can slowly begin to build momentum, and that present moment might generate another present moment for them later in the day. For example, last year at Weaver Elementary, another elementary school here in Springfield that I'm no longer at for a variety of reasons, but where we started a Good Dads program, one of the things that we did was we created a secret handshake. And so I didn't create the handshake, the father and their child. And I should say, not just their father, it could be a grandpa, it could be an uncle, it could be a stand-in dad.
Sure.
Created a secret handshake. And the instruction that I gave them, the homework, if you will, was that tonight, when you go home from work, or tonight when your student comes home from school, do the secret handshake again. And so these activities that we're doing, again, they're not academic, but they are very social and emotional in that they're something that can be replicated again and again and again as often as you can, as often as you want. And I keep on using that word powerful, but it's a powerful thing to take that present moment in the school and have another present moment later in the afternoon or evening.
Yeah, it's like flexing your muscles. It's that exercise that you're creating that repetition. And so if you have a good experience at school, you're likely to take that home with you, and that's going to have a ripple effect.
Can you show me the handshake?
Well, I didn't ever develop one.
Jay, you
So
and I will
I
make a
can't.
handshake. How about that? We'll
It's
do one
so
together.
secret,
I'm not-
I don't even know.
I'm not invited to the secret handshake. I'm not. What are some other activities that you have done with some of your Good Dads strong schools?
Yeah, so they kind of run the gambit. That's what I love about the activities is they're not really hard or elaborate. Half the time, what the planned activity is rarely what we wind up doing, but it's some, kind of offshoot of it. Like one of my favorite ones was we had pipe cleaners, right? And the kids were supposed to make like an object or an animal. And so, some of these were just extremely elaborate. And then they started like, tying their monster into like the monster that their friend made.
Oh, so
and
fun.
like explaining the backstories of these monsters.
That's cool.
And, all these shapes like building onto them to make like a giant structure.
That's so creative.
And I was like, there are some engineers and architects in here. Like,
I love it.
But just so, it's so much fun to watch the dads and their kids get to just like interact with one another like that and be creative with very loose boundaries of just like, don't set the school on fire. That's really all we care. Like, just everyone's being safe and having fun.
It's the main rule. Yeah.
Yeah. So that one's been really fun. We did a water bottle flip. So like we had these water bottles, we filled them about, halfway up. And then the idea was like a competition between the dads and the kids to like see who could flip it and have it land right side up. And I think one kid did it like 56 times. I couldn't do it 3 times. Like I was like this, I'm not good at this. But it was so much fun to watch them do that. And then it turned into like they were throwing it across the gym to their dad or to their friend to see if they could catch it. Again, it just like evolved into, okay, here's what the project was, or the assignment, if you will. And now it's just this, and watching everybody have fun and just, engage with one another. It's a good time.
Absolutely. That is so fun. Well, it's back to school season.
I know.
If you can believe it already. Let me ask you then, what might you say to a school that doesn't have Good Dad Strong Schools yet? What might you tell them?
I'd say give it a shot.
Bleep this, or?
No, give it a shot. It's a lot of fun.
Kindest way possible.
It's a lot of fun, and it's low risk and high reward, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Very little investment goes into having to do it, but the benefits that you reap are huge. I know, like, whenever I leave, go back to like, I'm already having a great day. Like, it's already fun. I'm walking into work just like with a positive attitude. And that carries on for me. And, like you guys said, you get home sometimes. My daughter wants to like do the same activity again, or we'll try something different. And for me, it's a great reminder that like activities that I do with my kids don't have to be super elaborate or advanced. They can be just like the simplest thing that is fun and interactive.
It's making memories together. Yeah. I love it. Joshua, what about you?
I love that phrase, low risk, high reward. The question is, what do we have to lose? And I'm sure, since this is an established podcast and Good Dads is an established program, I've heard the statistics, right, with regards to having a male in a community of kids, even if that male isn't the father of those kids, how that presence alone shows an uptick in academics. It shows a downturn in disciplinary issues, right? And so what are things that we care about in school? Well, we care about high academics and we care about low disciplinary numbers. And so Good Dads is a program that enables that to happen. And not only that, we talked earlier within this episode about how Good Dads just wants you to succeed, right? And how they make it really easy with curriculum, but not just curriculum, with the material, and not just material, but like with the donuts and with the coffee. They ensure that it is a successful program at the school. And so there is very little that the school itself has to do with regards to putting on good dads. They just need to provide the space, and there needs to be very few willing volunteers to make that a success. And if you have that, the success of the program will come, and you will start to see positive results. I know that in the 2 years that we did Good Dads, the last 2 years I was at Weller, I had more attentive students, and I had fewer disciplinary problems. And I can only think that the only variable that changed, and this was post-COVID, the only variable that had changed was that we were doing Good Dads.
Wow.
And so that's not evidence. It's an anecdote, right? But at the same time, it's a pretty powerful story.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when I remember when I was in elementary school, I was, fortunate enough to grow up with a good dad myself. And that was a huge factor in how I acted at school and how I showed up every day. When I had a positive male role model, and I knew that that was important to him. And so when you're encouraging students to have that, it makes perfect sense that grades are going to go up.
Or there's
behavior
be
problems.
Consequences at home. Right. Wait till your dad
I better
gets home.
shape up.
I think I can wait until he gets home. As a matter of fact, is there any way we can not tell him?
Yeah, let's just
about me punching a hole in my door.
Let's just not.
I'd rather not do that. All right. Do we have any closing remarks about Strong Schools, fellas?
I mean, it's such a great program. Again, it's low risk, high reward. I would encourage any administrators who are interested about having this program at their school to reach out to good dads, reach out to people in their community. You might be surprised just how much involvement you can get. It's something, like I said, we look forward to it every month. And it never fails. Like, I know about it ahead of time. It'll be like 3 days beforehand. I'm like, oh boy, I better look at the
time to get ready.
And make sure we know who's doing what. But it's always a good time, and just a great opportunity to see dads engaging with one another. I mean, we're all peers, right? And we come together. It doesn't really matter what our backgrounds are. Like, we're there for one reason. We're there because we want to do something with our kids, and we want to have fun and interact and just be there in the moment and present. And I think it's powerful.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I keep thinking about this particular father that when I first met him and his kids at one of my previous schools, he was not involved. He wasn't confident. His kids were trouble in the classroom. They were trouble in my library. And he slowly became involved in Good Dads. And my last year at one of my previous schools, he was not only nominated, but won Good Dad of the Year.
Yay.
And that's incredible
Yeah.
to see just his journey. And simultaneous to that was the journey that his kids were on, because they became Pride Panthers at their school because of their behavior and because of their effort in the classroom. And so you could make a really good argument that Good Dads transformed that family's life and their experiences subsequent to that. And so are there other factors in his life? I'm sure there are, but Good Dads was one of those factors. And, the evidence was there. So
very good.
And I think it's really important. Joshua touched on this a few times, but it's called Good Dads, but it doesn't, you don't have to be a dad. You can be an uncle, a grandfather, a stepdad. I mean, we
a
have
father figure,
a
Yeah.
positive adult role model. We
Yes.
have some moms who come and we're
Yes.
like, hey, we are so
Absolutely.
glad to have you here, because, it doesn't matter who they are. It's just, we're all there for the same reason. So
Exactly.
it's something to think about too. If you're in a school district where maybe, the nuclear family is not together and you're worried about participation, like I wouldn't let that hold you back or be a barrier that I think if you build it, they will come.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. That's great.
And thank you so much, Joshua and Ben, for being on our podcast. And thank you for sitting in.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Absolutely. Gentlemen, thank you both. And thank you for being Strong Schools captains. It means the world to us.
Engage fathers, empowered kids, and strong schools, and other good dads, great communities.